Hello, my name is Jim Mullany. Today is Friday, June 28th, I believe. I think it's 28th. Today I'm doing a video source inspection, a very quick one, of a Tencor Surfscan 5500. This customer purchased this tool from us. They gave us a verbal PO, so there's no PO number, so I won't reference that. The customer actually is in the Arizona area, and they are actually driving up tomorrow to pick up this tool. What I'm going to do now is we've gone through lots of cycle testing. Because we're in a non-fab environment, the particles are high on the test, which we expect, and they'll get higher after each run. And because of the environment we're at, the tool has not been recalibrated. It has to be calibrated once it arrives into the clean room with a correct VLSI calibration wafer. Otherwise, we'd ruin the calibration wafer as soon as we took it out of the box here, and that'd be a $1,000 wafer ruined. So what I'll do is, the tool has the capability of running in single or multi-mode. Multi-mode means it takes it out of the send cassette, and as long as it passes the particle check, it puts it back in the receiving cassette next to it. I'm going to do a test of multi-mode. I will show the screen. Then I'll put it in single mode, and single mode actually will take it out of the send cassette and put it back into the same send cassette. So let's just look at the parameters I have set up here. This is the actual screen of the particles. So here's your menu 1 screen. As you can see, it's 200 millimeter wafers. We have an 8 millimeter edge exclusion from the front and the edge, and we're looking at particles 51 micron to 102 micron. Again, we're in not a clean environment. And then the particles again are 51 to 102 as what we're going to be looking for. I put a particle count parameter, upper limit of 1,000 particles. Actually, I'm going to change that a little bit higher, I think, to 15, because we might go over that now. Whoops. Because we're close to that already. Again, down here you see cassette mode multi. That is for the dual cassette. So we'll go ahead and run the first. And so this is a simple menu screen. You can get into different menus by hitting the pound side, and then you can actually pick the menu. In the manual, it's all described there. It's very easy to set up. And I believe you can have 25 different menu screens, so you could have a menu screen for different type wafers in your fab. So to run the process, this is the last run. You simply hit down here, start. As you can see, both elevators are now moving down. What's happening is the system is scanning for slots to see where the wafers are at. If you're, this system also has the capability of scanning, and then the slots will come up on the right hand side, and you can actually pick the slot you want. In this case, we only have one wafer, so it's only going to grab the first wafer. There we go, it's indexing now. The arm's coming out. There's the wafer being taken. And there's the 8-inch wafer. Okay. Now what happens is over here you'll see the scan start, the edge of the wafer. As you can see, there's lots of particles. You can see our fingerprint when we took the wafer out of the cassette. This wafer was brand new when we started, but after 10 or 12 tests, you can see it has 1,000 particles on it. Okay. It processes, and it'll give you, we have now 1,141 particles, which makes sense because the last one was over 900 and one goes up. It shows you the bin sizes, how many particles in each size. And actually, unfortunately, max over range means this was a reject wafer. Because it got rejected now, because of that, it went back into the send cassette. I'm going to adjust the haze and see if I can make it that it doesn't go over. That's the problem with the test. As the wafer gets dirtier and dirtier quickly here in our facility, then you lose that capability. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the programming. Max haze. Alrighty. So parameters, haze, parts per million. Okay, let's just go move over. Change that number a little bit higher. And the max haze, 1,000 diameter. Okay, so let's go ahead and run again. Hopefully I don't have that error again. If I do, I'm going to have to get a brand new wafer out of the box, which I was hoping I didn't have to do, because again, the wafer, once it's ran and the particles are on there, there's no way to clean it down to a low wafer particle count. We've been cycling the machine for the last 2 days. It's probably cycled 200 times in various conditions. So we feel very comfortable that the customer can use it. This customer is in a desperate need for a particle counter. Their current particle counter is 6 inch, and they have some 8 inch processing they need. Let's hopefully see if the haze now is not too high, or if it falls under the parameter I need. If not, I'll grab a brand new wafer for the next test. As you see, the particles went up now. We're at 1251, which I expect to go up. Good, because I raised the haze parameter, as you can see. Now the wafer passed the inspection, so it went into the cassette. As you can see, with the Tencor Surfscan, you can set the parameters of particles and haze to decide, well, the system will decide by the parameters you give it if it passed or did not pass. So then that showed that. Now to bring it to home position, you can hit home. That'll bring up the second elevator. Alrighty. What I'll do now is I'll go into the single wafer mode, the single transfer mode. So I will remove this cassette. I'll move over now to the send elevator. So now in the program, I get back in the program here. The next key moves you to different quadrants. I want to go to system configuration, the arrow key down. Whoops, it was right down. See where it says multi? I turn it to single. Alrighty, and it auto saves. So now I'll go back in. Now what will happen, this elevator will go down, it'll measure the wafer, load it back in, and come back up. And I'll simply hit start. On the last process, we have a printer included. The problem is the printer color is out. We have ordered a new color modules, print ribbons, and these are being FedExed directly to the customer in Arizona for money delivery. But we can do a printout in black and white, which I'll show you on the print after. Alrighty, let's measure in the first 8 inch wafer. In this case, it doesn't matter what the haze is or the over particle counts, because in single mode, it only returns it to the cassette it came out of. As you can see, the old fingerprint. And now we have 1,298 particles. You see, I think it went up by 50 particles in one run just because of the environment we're in. So I'm going to do it. As you can see, it's back in here. Now actually when an index is back, it'll come back to home position. What I'm going to do is run it one more time in the single wafer process and show you that it works. As soon as this video is done, we're going to we're going to re-clean, and we're going to package this 10-core up. The customer again is coming Saturday to pick up the tool. So I simply hit start. Now we're back at the home position. I simply hit start again. Luckily, the customer is familiar with the Tencor Surfscan, so there will be no training needed. They are very aware of all the processes and how it works. Make sure my paper is indexed correctly. If I can see up there. I'm going to index a little bit higher. I'm going to micro-feed it up a little bit. Good, okay, the paper's up. No, this normally goes on the table next to it. Do not put it on here, because what it does, the weight will push down on the metal tops, and that will push down on the arm. So you do not want our printer sitting on top of the process area. Okay, you can see there's our old fingerprint. As you notice, it continually moves around. As the wafer orients back, it turns a little bit each time. We started at about 11 o'clock, then 9 o'clock, now 7 o'clock. Okay, as you saw, as I expected, now we're at 1342. So you can see it's repeatable in the sense that every minute particles are being added and they're continually going up like I expected. And that's what we've seen for the last 2 days in cycles. We've been running it from a prime wafer with no particles all the way up to about 10,000 particles or 12,000 particles. and then we keep switching brand new wafers at that point. Alrighty, so a couple more last things I'll show you. So now the wafer and cassette come up to the home position. Very good. So for the last thing I'll show you is these buttons here. The yellow is for particles. I can turn the particles off or I can turn them on. The second one is your histogram. That'll show you how many particles you have at the different bin categories. As you can see, we have a lot of particles that are over 99 micron. I can turn that off if I like. And then also you have the haze. The haze is blue, and that'll show you the haze that is on this wafer. I can turn that off. So that gives you an idea. What I'll also do is down we have the print screen here. Where's my print? Here we go. Let's see. Have I indexed my paper yet enough? Let me load it again. Sorry. Okay. Oh, printer disconnected. So sometimes on the printer, you have to reconnect it. It's a freaking printing port. Let me just type that in. Unfortunately, when the printer disconnects, usually in the past, I've always done a reset of the tool, but I'm not sure if I have to do that on this one. Let me take it offline, back online, turn it off. Where's my, turn it back. I got a C, not tall enough. Okay, let's load back out. This uses continuous paper. If you have single paper, it only accepts one sheet at a time. There you go, load. All right. Printer disconnect. There we go. As you saw, I had to turn the printer back off, and it's going to print now. Notice, because as our particles went up, now we're over max over haze again, and that's because we have too many particles with the haze. So what you get here is basically a print screen. Okay, hard to see because again there's no color. That's why we have a new print ribbon coming. But as you can see, it gives you the histogram of the size particles and where they're located, and the actual particle. Again, this because it will be printed in color, and the customer is having color ribbons directly FedEx to them for money delivery. Alrighty, so I'll go back to my main screen. So that will finish the demonstration of the Tencor 5500 Surfscan particle counter. We will supply a manual. The manual also has the manual for this printer, and there's lots of other functions that the customer can go with on setting up the wafer ID, again picking for different slots and so forth, but that's all in the manual, and that's part of the detailed training the customer's already gone through. If there's any questions, my name is Jim Mullany from SciTech Process Solutions. Today is Friday, June 28th, 2019. Our main number is 916-797-9000. You can call that number and ask for anyone in our sales organization. Thank you. Have a great day.